friends, and welcome. This is Dr. Heather Carden. Welcome to Ask Dr. Heather. If you are brand new to my blog, this is a page I put up about 9 or 10 years ago, really just to help people answer questions. So you'll see my motto is Ask, Act, Achieve. So if you never ask a question, you never know what the answer might be, or maybe you're super confused with what's going on, whether it's about vitamins, whether it's about cooking, whether it's about sleep, whether it's about attitude, any of those type of things. If you've got a question, please send them in to me. I will do my very best to help get some information for you so you can have some action steps and achieve the healthy life that you're desiring. So today we're going to make flax cakes. I have been waiting to make these for several weeks. Please hit the share button. This is meant to be shared. I'll tell you what happened is I had my husband shred a bunch of zucchini for me, so just a normal zucchini, and then we just didn't make it. So then what happens, I put them in the freezer. So I put them in the freezer, and then I knew this week I was going to be doing a fast. So I thought, that's excellent. I love doing flax cakes after a fast. I'm going to tell you why it's so good for detoxification, all the amazing benefits of flax. If you're not using flax once or twice or 3 times a month in your diet, you might want to do that because there's amazing health benefits to it. So I simply took the zucchini and I shredded it like a cheese grater. Then I did drain it. Drain it's super important. You see it's super wet. You could do a cheesecloth if you wanted to. And there's lots of different ways to do this. The reason I love doing a flax cake after fasting is because it has crazy, amazing benefits. So what happens is sometimes we eat things too fast, or we don't chew them enough, or there's just not enough time in the stomach to get proper digestion. So it actually can slow down the transition time so your body can actually absorb more nutrients. So you'll see flax is great for digestion, great for promoting healthy gut bacteria. I actually printed off 5 sheets of benefits. I won't go through all of 5 of those because I really want to get cooking here. I also want to know what's cooking at your house, because I love knowing what everybody else is doing. I love when people share their recipes. In another group, in the Keto Reboot group, I ask everybody, how do you cook your eggs? Scrambled, over easy, maybe not at all, maybe hard boiled. So we'd love to know how you cook your eggs. Right now we're going to take 1 shredded zucchini. And again, I drained it and pressed the water out. And then I'm just going to take 2 organic eggs. And they can be duck eggs, they can be chicken eggs. We happen to have an egg allergy in our house, so we happen to use a lot of duck eggs. Kind of hard to get them right now. It's not really laying season here in the Midwest, but I know it's other places ducks are laying where it's much warmer. Not a lot of sunlight right now. So you could put 2 or 3 eggs in there just depending on what you want. If you have an egg allergy, then you can actually make this whole recipe without the egg. So number 2, you're going to hear a lot about flax being anti-inflammatory. We know that when you're eating things like salmon and fish and trout, they're actually very heart healthy. Sorry, I'll try to get this so you guys can see what I'm doing. It's hard with the comments. So just mixing it up here in my bowl. Also was going to talk a minute about bone broth. So I'm going to dump my 2 eggs in there. But flax is very anti-inflammatory. You want to make sure you buy it organic or you're not going to get a good quality. We know that when you're eating things like fish and salmon and trout, they have things like omega oil. They have more EPA, DHEA, where flax has what's called ALA, alpha linoleic acid, which is very good for anti-inflammatory, for heart health, for bowel health, for joints. So it's good to get in your diet 2 or 3 times a month. And I'm just mixing this up in here. I still get nervous every time I do a live, guys. I don't know why. So once you mix them up, then I'm going to pour. Again, depends on the size of the eggs. It depends on how much moisture you get out of your zucchini, and I'm gonna put about a half a cup of flax in there. I'm gonna start with a little bit less than that and see how kind of gooey it is, because we're gonna make a pancake out of this. So other benefits are flax is amazing for your body. It really helps hydrate yourself or hydrate your cells at the cellular level. So flax is great for oil pulling if you're experiencing dry mouth, because you can go buy organic flax oil. You can also, thanks for sharing how you like your eggs, Jackie. I love hearing that. So it's also great for your hair. So I hear all the time people taking loads of vitamins, different types of shampoo. Our body actually makes hair from the proteins that we eat, and also healthy fats help make our hair nice and shiny, make our skin nice and shiny. You can put all the lotion you want in the world, which your body will absorb some, but it really comes from the inside out. So adding flax and chia, things like that, can absolutely help. So as we talk about the health benefits of flaxseed versus chia or hemp, we also, it actually helps lower triglycerides. You're going to see a lot of major studies about that, and I could quote probably 5 studies for every single benefit I'm sharing. So it does help lower cholesterol. It grabs onto the bad stuff and helps scoot it out. That's why I love it after a fast or a cleanse, because when you put it in your gut, remember, it has a little bit slower transition time, so it kind of hangs around there, helps with the fermented and the good and bad gut bugs, and then it grabs the stuff on, and then it scoots it out through your body. So I just finished doing about a 5-day fast. You hear I've got got stuff on my throat. I have not had a cold or flu mucus discharge since my last pregnancy, which was 16 and a half years ago. Nothing. So this is crazy. I do a lot of extended fasting. I do a 24-hour fast at least once a week. I do a 72 to 96 hour once a month just for good stem health, for helping autophagy, which is making new white blood cells to get the bad glucose out of your body, because glucose is toxic for your body. Also helps me maintain my weight when I do that and stop my cravings. So after you do a fast, and this is kind of why I haven't jumped on here because my voice has been crackly. So I'm going to put a little bit more in there while I'm talking. I had a lot of comments, people saying, slow down, don't talk so fast, share your recipes slower. So I'll absolutely do that, but it is super simple. You can put just a little bit of pinch of sea salt in there if you want. So I'm just gonna put a little bit in there, and then it's about done. If it's too dry, you could actually put some almond milk or coconut milk in there to add more fat. I'm gonna turn my stove on here. You also could put a little more, if you want more pancakey like, you could put a little coconut flour in there. It also helps. I am going to put some cinnamon in there. I pulled a bunch of goodies out here. I don't think I pulled my cinnamon out. So I'm also going to put some vanilla extract in there. So I use organic vanilla. You could use the stevia vanilla if you wanted to, but there's really not that many carbs when you're buying organic, gluten-free vanilla. And again, I'm gonna put some cinnamon in there. I just don't see it right in front of me, but I did pull out some stevia to put in there. So as we continue to talk about the benefits, there's something called beta-glucan lichens. You're seeing all over the TV, all over social media about how it helps lower your blood sugar, helps sustain your blood sugar at a healthier level. That's very true. Flax has the biggest, like 7 times more than any other seed or nut or fruit out there, ligands, 7 times more than anything else. So it's really, really high in ligands, which helps. It's a very, very strong antioxidant. So slow down the aging process for hormonal balancing, for PMS or andropause for men, so to speak. Also helps cellular regeneration. So if you do a 5-day fast, a 4-day fasting with medical supervision, you've gone through your glucose, your glycogen, you've made new white blood cells through autophagy. Now we're making new stem cells. So as we refeed with healthy organic ground flax, it's promoting cell regeneration. It's also grabbing up that stuff that still didn't get out there in 4 or 5 days. I generally compare it to if you have some type of artificial food coloring or maybe a medication that stays in your body for a good 28 plus days. That's just because our liver turns over every 28 days. So lots of great benefits from flax. And I'll put this on my blog tomorrow, but it definitely helps with insulin sensitivity. Now this is where the fun part starts. So what do we do next? So I'm going to take some coconut oil, and I could actually be using grass-fed butter if I wanted, but I'm just going to use a little bit of coconut oil. I'm going to put it in my pan over here and let that get nice and hot. Now we have some options. You could put some cocoa powder in there and you could make it chocolatey. Or you could put, if your kiddos are there and you maybe you have your if you're doing low carb, if you're doing paleo, you can definitely have some organic blueberries, and just 4 or 5 is just enough. I am a chocolate girl, so I try to do at least 75% chocolate. What I have here at the house though, because we've gone through it, is I got 60% cacao. You could also do these cocoa nibs. I think these are almost 90%. I love these. They're high in antioxidants, or super nutrition, almost a superfood. So I like to put chocolate in my flax cake. So I'm probably just gonna put about a tablespoon in there. If you guys can see this, give me a thumbs up, because I have I can see your names, but I can't see if you guys have questions or not. So again, know that this is meant to be shared. So always simply do, and this is what it looks like. So that was 1 zucchini, 2 eggs, and I did about probably 1/3 cup of flax. And we know flax is super high in all the B vitamins. It's super high in zinc, it's super high in manganese, it's super high in magnesium, it's super high in protein, super high in fat. And I actually printed off these. So as we're cooking, I'll actually go through the macronutrients of that. So my husband got me for Valentine's Day those fancy little Smooth Move camera things. I can't figure it out. So I'm just gonna be honest. So I don't know if you can see my pan or not, but I'm just gonna simply just scoop this into my pan. I'll move this differently. Keep telling my husband I need a new kitchen so I can do more cooking Facebook Lives, because everybody says, do more cooking videos, do more cooking videos. And you're simply gonna make it just like a pancake. So you're gonna see it's just gonna fry up nice. I do use coconut oil because it makes it nice and crispy, but you can see how nice and thick this is, and that's really how you want it. There's a lot of moisture in the zucchini, and I even squeeze it out through a colander, and the egg actually absorbs that up. And again, just a few chocolates, and that's probably gonna make about 5 or 6 pancakes, and then I'm gonna cook it super high. So I'm just gonna review the benefits as we're going through that. If you guys have recently done the reboot or done a fast, drop like a star down below. I always wanna know who's doing this, because one of the most important things I feel like is how you start something and how you finish something is super important. So as you start a fast, you're cutting out the sugar, all the processed foods, all that kind of stuff. Then as your body cleans everything out, it's been super busy during that fast, helping cellular regeneration, getting rid of glucose and glycogen, making new red blood cells, cleaning out the house, so to speak. Thank you for the stars. I love seeing that in the thumbs up. Then you want to actually replenish. So if you're going to make brand new, you just got rid of the yucky stuff in your body. I'm going to use yucky stuff like the white blood cells, red blood cells, the hormone stuff, all that out. You want to actually refeed it with high nutrient dense stuff. So I generally always do bone broth. I'll do bone broth probably for the next 5 or 6 days. So I do have some homemade bone broth. I also like to mix it with the keto bone broth because it does have the BHB in there, which mine doesn't have. So it's another way to get bone broth. Then doing the flax cake, because bone broth is God's Gatorade. It's putting all those nutrients really back into your cell that you just depleted and wiped out, whether it's a 24-hour fast or a 72-hour or 96-hour. I am suggesting that you do check with your healthcare provider before starting any fast at all. And if you're jumping on late, all this junk is just for me. Fasting is getting all that stuff out of my lymphatic system, which is awesome. I want that junk out. I haven't had any type of cold, flu symptoms. I don't feel bad. I just know I'm getting some mucus discharge, which is great. Cleaning out again all that cervical lymph nodes up and through there as we've had crazy weather here in Kansas. I have got my flax cake cooking over here, but I am just going to cheat and use my notes here if that's okay, because I'm being honest, I do get nervous. So we talk about the benefits again of flax. Is that, again, it's very anti-inflammatory. It's great for anti-aging. It's super high in fiber, which binds up all those toxins we've talked about. Just think about this. If you have a red candle burning in your kitchen and the candle burns down over maybe a month or 2 months' time, where did the red stuff go? Like, where'd the candle go? We actually breathe that in. They find that stuff actually when they're doing autopsies on cadavers. They're finding some of that stuff actually in people's cells after they've passed away. So we know that our body is absorbing those. We talked about it being great for improving insulin sensitivity and why we want to use flax over chia. You know, I love my chia pudding too, which is a great source. You always want to make sure that you're rotating that. So talked a lot about chia, the benefits of chia. Talked about hemp and hemp pudding, the benefits of hemp, because oftentimes if people do a low carb ketogenic diet, they do a lot of processed meats, a lot of salami, a lot of cheeses. They forget about the healthy fish, the omega-3, the omega-9, the omega-6. I forgot about the EPA and DHEA, especially here in Kansas. We don't have nice salmon that we can just go to the store and buy that's not been frozen. But we also want to make sure we include plant fats, especially if you're trying to keep your calories down, things like avocados and olives, and not getting caught up with all of that processed food. You know, people are like, oh, I'm doing keto, and I don't want to call it dirty keto. I don't want to call it lazy keto, because any sugar you're cutting out is a big bonus. We're talking about using flax. There's also a great study, I forgot to mention this, that they know that flax, actually, I have it right here in front of me. I wrote down the article, that 2 tablespoons of ground flax a week actually reduces several types of cancer and prevent several types of cancer like prostate, ovarian, colon cancer. We know oftentimes cancer is just the body getting over detoxified, over gunked up, so to speak, with the bad junk, and then the body just can't fight it anymore. We also know that flax is great in lowering carbohydrates. So flax is also a very soluble fiber. So insoluble and soluble means it's a great bulking agent to bind up stuff and help with digestion, help with gut. That stuff called sludge in there, or mucilage. You probably heard that word before. That's just a mucus in the colon. The colon turns over all the time. It's things like flax or things like cabbage, which are like Brillo pads, help bind that up and scoot it out. Now, cabbage isn't a source of any type of omega or ALA, alpha lipoic acid, which is great for anti-inflammatory, great for anti-aging, again, great for moisturizing your skin, great for moisturizing your mouth, so you can do oil pulling with it if you like. Again, our skin heals from the inside out, so putting the proper nutrients on the inside is actually what's super important. So we know that it's high in the thiamines, B1, B2, B6, phosphorus, copper, selenium. I'm reading it now because I was too nervous to memorize it. Potassium, even iron, B9. But for me, after a cleanse or after a period, or maybe you're not going to do a cleanse or fast, but you know you just had a really bad carb load from a vacation or holidays, you really want to get that stuff out. So you want to use whole real food, zucchini, dark chocolate, flaxseed, chia seed, cabbage, all those things that help bind it up and scoot it out. And as we lose the bad stuff, we also lose some good stuff. That's when I come on the back end and have some bone broth, which is God's Gatorade, with all those amazing nutrients, plus all the different brands of collagen to really help your body refresh and rejuvenate. So I'm going to show you how this is cooking nicely. I'm going to flip it over. If you have questions, drop it down below. I'd love to hear your question. I know oftentimes I just come back and answer the questions later, but I'm going to tell you, so I was going to make this. I had my husband shred the zucchini like 2 weeks ago, and then time just got away. It didn't get in the menu. The boys actually cut half the zucchini up and grilled them. I'm like, I don't have any zucchini for my flax cake. So then they were going bad, so we went ahead and shredded them, put them in the freezer, pulled them out of the freezer yesterday, and then I just let them sit in the refrigerator and defrost, and then I simply used a colander and I strained. That's probably the key, straining all that out. Again, if you want it more like a pancake, you can put a little bit, like 1 or 2 tablespoons. I have a farm girl cooker, which means I was meant just to look at the food, feel the texture, not necessarily measure everything out, because eggs can be different size, different times of the year. Zucchinis can be more moist different times of the year. Same thing with tomatoes, but this is coming out nicely. So look at this amazing zucchini cake. I'm actually gonna pick it up and probably make a big mess. Again, you can cook it in grass-fed butter. I would not do it in bacon, but you could if you like bacon and chocolate. But look how beautiful this looks. Power packed with nutrients, all whole food, all real food. Amazing. If you fight constipation, this is a great thing to help get your bowels moving. My kids used to crave this after they would have an athletic practice or event. They would crave the zucchini. I would probably grate 5 zucchini with a dozen eggs. So I do 2 eggs per 1 zucchini. Again, if you cannot have eggs, you can still make the same recipe and make it vegan. Put a little bit of, put a little bit of coconut milk in there, probably the can so you get a little more fat. And then what I top this with is you can put butter on top of this. If you make your I should have done that, your own homemade whipped topping, whether you use cow's milk. You guys know I use coconut milk out of the can. You can make your own heavy whipped topping to get more fats in there. You can put any nut butter on there, sun butter, almond butter, peanut butter, grass-fed butter on there, and it's amazing anytime. And they actually freeze pretty well. Just make sure you get the moisture out. So you could do these, put them in the freezer, and then just pop them in your toaster on the go type of moment. It's great to put even like for a dinner, for if you're wanting something like to have a base of something, you could definitely put an over easy egg on top of that. You could have some bacon, you could have a crab cake on top of that, you could have some nice smoked salmon on top of that. All real whole food. I'm talking way longer than it took to make, but if you guys make it, please show me a picture of what you're making. Would love to know what you're making. I will post a recipe up above, and again, let me know if there's questions you want to hear about. A lot of people are asking about keto crotch, so I'm going to address that this weekend. Again, my voice has been a little funny with my faster detox or my reboot, so I haven't been jumping on as much, but definitely want to share recipes with you. I did post in the other group. People love us. How do you make your eggs? I just want to know. I'm not nosy. I just want to know, because then it would help guide me and direct me when I'm doing recipes and sharing recipes. Eggs are one of the perfect proteins. We know that the egg and the yolk is actually not cooked. So the uncooked yolk is where the choline and inositol, which is super important for brain health and cognition. Once you cook the yolk, I still have a hard time eating a runny yolk. Once you cook the yolk, you actually denature it, so you lose some of that cognitive benefit of the choline and inositol that you normally get, but you're still getting that perfect protein from an egg. And the price is so great right now. Try to buy organic when you can, especially with something like zucchini, especially something with ground flax. Now I just opened this, so now that it's opened, I am going to store it in the freezer. I don't want it going rancid like another oil, and that goes true for any of your oils. Once you open them up, it's not true for like chocolate powder or things like that. Again, I could take this, which is healthy fat superfood, and I could make a heavy whipped topping out of coconut milk and whip that up and put a little chocolate on it. It'd be perfect, or again, a few blueberries. But again, I'll post a picture later when we get done, but it is done now. I am going to actually start cooking a few more because got a couple kiddos at the gym. I got one on an airplane, so I know they're going to be hungry. So this is Dr. Heather from Ask Dr. Heather. Thank you again for joining me. If you're brand new to just starting a healthy lifestyle, let me know how I can help you. I have a blog. I'm not super great with WordPress, but it is a blog there with about 1,000 recipes that are 99% gluten-free, dairy-free, soy-free. Most of them are peanut-free as well, and always a substitute if you need it. There's about 1,000 recipes just free for you to go and check out, get some new ideas. And if you want to get ready on the ketogenic diet, then you can download my guide to kickstart your day in the right way at AskDrHeather.net. Just simply put subscribe, it's free, and so when I post a new recipe, if I post this information about the flax, then you'll get the information tomorrow. I'll also post it up here. Again, lots of stuff is meant to be shared. You can also pop over to my YouTube channel where I have the chia pudding, my almond meal waffles, which I can tell you, a chia pudding, things that people really like to see that are super simple, you can make up ahead of time, that are power-packed superfood nutrition, and that are real whole food, that are economical and super easy to make. My kids have been making these for years. They love to shred things, so I'd love to know what you're doing. You can also do this with a butternut squash. I've made this with a couple scoops of pumpkin. If I had some organic pumpkin left over, or if you did your own pumpkin and baked it, you can put that in there. You could put a scoop of sweet potato in there. So when you go to AskDrHeather.net and put in flax cake, you'll see there's a whole bunch of different things, where a tablespoon of pumpkin, a tablespoon of leftover sweet potato, a tablespoon of this. You can even do cabbage in there, purple cabbage if you wanted to. So it's always fun to experiment. Ryan. Again, you can put any kind of toppings on there that you want. Just keep it whole, real foods, and know that you're nourishing your body from the inside out. This is Dr. Heather saying have an amazing day, and I cannot wait to hear from you. And Ryan, thank you for all the kind words. Larry, thanks for joining us. Eden Yvonne, thanks for joining us. Joe, nice to see you there. I loved your video the other night. I try not to say hello to everyone so I don't miss somebody, but Kimberly, thanks for joining. Yvonne, thanks for joining. Again, thanks for sharing this time with me, and hopefully you're going to make your own flax cake soon and have an amazing snack. You guys have a great day.